Hi guys, looks like everything's working again. Yay! Got 2 weeks in a row. That's a record. Okay. So glad I figured out what that was. Hopefully that'll stay that way. Okay, today I decided to do some paper pumpkin stuff. I have neglected paper pumpkin. I have got so many boxes. How many of you can relate to that? My daughter's been going through my stuff and organizing stuff for me up in my other daughter's old room. And I couldn't believe all the paper pumpkin boxes I still have that I never did open. Just ran out of time and couldn't do them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be doing a paper pumpkin club. If you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin through me, and there is a link below in the description, then you will get some PDFs for some extra alternative projects. But this time I'm going to give you an idea of what the kind of projects I'll make. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the 3 cards that you actually make with the kit, 3 alternatives that I just made them a little different using the same card bases. And then I'm going to demonstrate 3 cards that are full-size cards. It's used as the extra free stamp set that came with it. Normally they're just 1 stamp set, but this time they put 2 in there. So I think we're going to go ahead and start stamping this time. I'm going to do things a little differently this time. Hope you're all doing well out there. I've got, like I said last week, the schools here in Morrisville closed, which I think that's happening, everywhere in the country right now. So my daughter's home doing e-learning with her kids. Then my husband came home yesterday afternoon. He's got to work from home now until further notice. Then our son that still lives with us, they're now going to be doing work 1 week, off 1 week, making it smaller staff. So he's working today and then he'll work next week and then he'll be off next week. This is such a strange time. It's a lot different. Never been through any of this. I know none of you have either, but we're going to get through it. So let's have some fun. Forget about all the stuff that's going on out there right now. And I'm going to show you some neat paper pumpkin stuff. So let's switch screens here. And first off, I'm going to show you the stuff that came in the kit. This was the No Matter the Weather kit. And it does come with everything you need to make your cards. It looks like oh, here we go. Almost forgot. It always comes with an ink spot. So this one's basic gray for this one. It comes with all the adhesive you need. This one came with, these are the mini glue dots right here. And then we've got a whole page of Stampin' Dimensionals. We've got this baker's twine. They've even, with the extra stamp set, they put even some ideas that you could make with the extra stamp set. Here's the stamp set that came. As you can tell, I'm using a lot of these stamps, but this is the one that came with the kit. What was the name again? No Matter the Weather. And this was the extra stamp set that came with it. And this one is called Spring Splash. So I'm going to be using this stamp set too with my alternative cards. So this kit, normally you get the 1 stamp set. So this was the extra one. So if you do the April one, oh, hi Marlene, glad you're here. Welcome from Wisconsin. So these are the 2 stamp sets that came with the last paper pumpkin. Then there are 3 different envelopes. Let me get back on the screen here. And you get 4 of each envelope. You get 4, then we got 4 each of these for the cards. They're little die cuts. They're not stickers, they're die cuts. Then there were actually 5 of these, so there's 1 extra because you're making 4 of each card. So you have an extra label of those, or 5 of these, and 5 of these banners. And then there were 4 each of these card bases. Now these are note card size, so they're a little smaller than a regular card, but not by much. But this, you would get 4 of these, 4 of these, and 4 of these. So it's a really cute kit. And then you could get your directions. And then there's also a video that shows how to make the cards. It's there's no talking on it, but it's some music and the lady goes through it. Oh, and I almost forgot about these embellishments. I don't know if you can see that. The top ones are little, yes you can. They're little teardrops, well, raindrops actually. And then just little circle dots. So those little enamel dots, I really like those a lot. So I used them just as a clear, like the kit said, but you could also use Stampin' Blends and color them and make them different colors if you'd like to. Wish I'd thought of that sooner. I didn't even think about that when I made these projects today. So that was everything that came in this month's Paper Pumpkin. And these were the cards that came with the kit. Aren't these adorable? Isn't that pretty? I love the little bunny rabbit. Isn't he cute? And so you got the epoxy droplets on there, did some stamping down here. So that's one of the cards, and this is the envelope that went with it. So you could just make all of these cards just like it shows. Isn't that neat looking too? And then this one with this envelope. Super cute. I love how they had us put this boot to line up with her legs, because that's actually the color of the boot that she's wearing in the picture. So really cute cards, but I wanted to come up with some variations, and I'm going to show you those real quick. I will give you a couple little heads up on these. If you have this kit, the boots are on with dimensionals. You use the glue dots for the banner, and this ribbon is a 32, I mean, the baker's twine is like a 32 inch. I think it says that in the directions, and you wrap it around your card front twice, as you can see. I keep getting out of the video, sorry about that. And then you tie it in a bow. So it's a really neat card, and you can see the little droplets. We stamped the, everything is stamped at just the basic gray. So we stamped the bottom here and then the raindrops. So that's how that one is made. This one, the boots and the flowers are on dimensionals, and everything. And this is on with, boy, I keep getting out of the video, with mini glue dots. So they're really easy. The clouds were stamped. Really neat card. And then this one, the dimensionals, you put the boots on dimensionals, the rabbit on dimensionals, and the greeting. And you tie a little bow. This is 11 inch for the bow for that, and this was also two 11-inch pieces. I made the mistake thinking it was 11 inch, and you cut it in half. Well, that was way too short. So you want two 11 inches. You're going to tie a double bow with that one. This one is on dimensionals. This is on with the glue dot. And then you've got this one has the little circles instead of the raindrops. So that's the one you use. And I counted them with the little embellishments. You can have up to 7 on each card. I did put 7 on this one just because it has a little more to cover. These I just did 5. And usually when you use epoxy things or little embellishments, you want to use an odd number. So that's what I did with those. So those are the originals. Now I'm going to show you the ones I came up with that were little alternatives. Now this I did add a little bit of cardstock. I used that little bunny. This little grass thing here came from the free stamp set, the spring, I always forget, spring splash. I knew it was spring something. And then I stamped a few clouds up around it, and then used one of the banners and tied a little bow on it, and then used those little dot epoxies again, used about 5 of them. So this was the original card in my left hand, and this is the one I made. So that's a little alternative you can make. Then, this was the original. This was mine. So this time I've got the original in my right hand, and this one is the one on my left hand is the one I used. I put the boots on with just the glue dots. This is popped up with dimensionals. Put a bow on with glue dots, and then use the little epoxy raindrops in there. So those are 2 different variations of that card. And last but not least, here was the original for this one. And here's the one I came up with. So I used, this is actually a bunny in the free stamp set, the Spring Splash. And I fussy cutted that out. And see how I said that she already had the green boots on. Oops, I'm flipping things around. And then I used, and then you put the green right on top of it. So it still looks like she's got her boots on. But so the one in my right hand is my alternative. And the flowers are on with dimensionals, and the little bunnies on dimensionals. And then when I stamped the I Believe in You, this is from the Spring Fling stamp set to the greeting. I stamped it along the bottom of the banner so I could put the flowers on top. And I used Pear Pizzazz ink here on the bottom rather than the basic gray, because I want to make that all green. So I think that's all the changes I made on that one. And you can see that I used those epoxy, about 7 of those on there. So I give you plenty of those raindrops. Okay, now I came up with, like I said, 3 different cards that uses some of the product and some different colors. Now, all the colors that come in this kit, I'll hurry up and name them off real quick, and I'm going to use all of them. Balmy Blue, Basic Gray, Calypso Coral, Grapefruit Grove, Gray Granite, Pear Pizzazz, Petal Pink, Shaded Spruce, and So Saffron. So I wanted to stick with all the colors. So I'm going to bring in a piece of Bashful Blue. I'm not Bashful Blue. I've been saying Bashful Blue all day. That's the old blue color. Oh, here, I need to get my chat up for YouTube. There we go. I want to make sure I can see that. So this is a Balmy Blue 5.5 by 8.5. And we're going to go ahead and fold this in half. hi, Dorothy. Glad you're here. So I've got 2 from Wisconsin today. Okay, so this is my card base. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat and my scrap piece of paper here. Bring in a piece of Whisper White. This is a 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to use both cloud stamps that were from the, this is one that came, the free one that came with the kit, No Matter the Weather. And then I'm using the You Are Capable of Amazing Things. This comes with the No Matter the Weather kit. So actually all the stamps I'm using with this one comes with the No Matter the Weather kit and then a little textured stamp. Okay, let's go ahead. I think first off, I'm going to stamp some clouds. So I'm going to bring in my Balmy Blue. And I'm going to stamp. Now, one thing I learned, I'm going to stamp this twice before re-inking. I don't know if you can tell me, grab my original. If you look real close, some of these, I would have a nice light cloud here, and then all of a sudden it was dark on this end. It's because when I stamped the first one with a full ink, this part was hanging off. So then this didn't get stamped off. So it kind of looked funny. So this is what I'm doing now. And I want to have 2 different shades of the same stamp. I want to make sure that the one that's inked up, full force, I guess you could say, you stamp it within the card. That way you have gotten all the ink, the first layer of ink off, the whole thing. And then just kind of go next to it, and then you can stamp off, no big deal. Learned that the hard way. It looked a little funny how all of a sudden this would be nice and light and the very end would be dark. So always make sure that you stamp that, like I almost went off. You don't want to do that for your first one. So this one I'm going to bring right here and maybe do another one right up here. So it's okay to go off with your second one. I like having that different color, different shading with that. Now I'm going to do a couple of the little ones while we're going. Oh, let's put one right there. And I think we need some right here. That looks pretty good. You know what? I think I want another light one right here in the middle. So I'm going to stamp off here because I don't want any more dark ones. Okay, so that's ready to go. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of Grapefruit Grove. I've already embossed it. Oops, I lost it. I wonder, hold on just a second. Let me get back to me. It happened again. I bet you when I get off here, I'm going to find out somebody texted me or something. I got to see if there's a way to fix that. I promise I will be right back on. Hold on just a sec. I'm going to have to figure something out with that. That is so frustrating. Okay, now I got it going again. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we've got this. Somehow I'm going to, maybe if I get all my notifications turned off. Here, I'm just thinking out loud, sorry. I bet that's the problem. I just need to get all my notifications turned off before I do a video. Okay, and I've got them, well, I do have them turned off. I still don't understand why that happens because I do have it on Do Not Disturb. So I'm going to have to look into that, but it keeps popping the camera off. Okay, so I'm putting this on. I don't think I told you the size of this. I got sidetracked there. This is a 4 by 2 1/4 Grapefruit Grove. And I'm going to put this close. Oh, it froze up again. Oh, guys. With my husband home, he might be online. Let me try this again. I might have to go up there and ask him if he can get offline. It just keeps freezing up here. Hold on a minute. Okay, I'm going to clear this one. Hold on a second. I am so sorry. So how are you guys all doing? Let's change the subject here while I'm figuring this out. How are you guys doing? Oh, sorry. I am having trouble thinking. Getting used to being home a lot. I know some people are still going to work. Like I said, my son still has to go to work. But thankfully, he'll be going on every other week. He's young, though. He should stay healthy. I just don't want him infecting us old people here. I know I'm still kind of out of the loop, but let's see if this is going to work. Boy, I don't know why this is happening. It is not wanting to come back on. Okay, let's try this. You get to see all the back stuff again. I promise I'll get this going. This is at least my internet is still working. It's my phone that's messing up, so I can restart my Manicam on here and maybe that'll help. Okay. Whenever you've got people looking at you, it's hard to remember which things to click. Let's see if this is going to get it going. There we go. Let's hope I've got it so it's in the, not upside down. Let me check. I think I got it going. Oops, hold on a minute. I forgot to mute my sound on my phone. There we go. We're back. I am so sorry, guys. Okay, let's hope that this keeps going now. Oops, my glue is all dry. This would give a temporary hold, though, because this is multi-purpose glue, but we'll go ahead. I'm going to get going here so this doesn't happen again. Okay, so we're going to put this on the bottom. And like I said, I don't think I did say, because it went offline, I embossed this with a brick and mortar embossing folder. Let me show you that real quick. It's one of our 3D folders. I love this one, and I'm using it on every single card. Okay, so I'm glad we're back on. Looks like everything's working again. Let me get my chat back up from my YouTube. Make sure YouTube is back up. Yep, it's doing good. Okay, back to the card. So now we've got the grapefruit brick wall right here. And now I'm going to take, let me grab one of my stickers here. I had an extra one of these since I didn't use this on that, the one with the girl. So I decided to put this on a card. So we're going to take this out. And then we want to make sure you pop these little guys out. I like how they've got those little openings. That just makes it look even neater. And I'm going to put this on with just regular glue. Oops, I forgot, missed one. There we go. So now I'm going to put some glue on here. I could just use snail too, but this is going to be overlapping my embossing. So I'm going to put that kind of across the middle. I mean, well, actually just on the top of the brick, but I do want to go into the little sky area I've got here. So that's on. Now I've got a piece of Whisper White. This is a 3" by 3 3/4. I'm going to stamp. Ooh, I forgot to stamp something else I did, and I really liked this, so I can still do this without. I would have rather have done this without these on, but since I glued them on, I'm not going to be able to get those off. So I'm going to take the splatter with the Grapefruit Grove ink, because I thought that just looked kind of bland. So I'm going to stamp and stamp off with it. This just kind of gives it a little texture. So I'll just improvise since I forgot to do this beforehand. So now you've got that nice little texture on there. I just think it makes it look like it's aged brick or something. I think that looks a lot better, which is a little too light for my taste. So we'll put that over here. Now we'll come back to this. Then I'm going to stamp this greeting with basic black. Now this is the color that comes with the Paper Pumpkin kit. And if you are a subscriber, I'm not sure if there are any refills. I didn't get a chance to look. Now I'm going to stamp this over to the right just a little bit, kind of at center, but over to the right a little bit. Oops, no I didn't. I've got that right in the center. That's one thing when you're working with something at an angle, it's hard to tell exactly where you're putting it. There we go, that's a little better. And now, one neat thing about this. You only need one heart for the card, for one of the cards in the kit. So you have buku little hearts because they give us a ton. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of the glue dots on here. Now these are a little different than the regular glue dots. There is paper backing on them. So what I do is peel them off, stick it on the back of your project, and then you can take that paper backing off a lot easier. You could try to do it when it's on this plastic, but I have a harder time with that. I think it's easier to do it once it's on the actual cardstock. And I'm going to put that little heart right there. Now I'm going to turn this into a banner, but I'm not going to use my banner triple punch this time. So I'm going to show you, well, I'm going to try to even these up. I still could have gone over to the right a little bit more. So we'll take that off a little bit. So I'm going to make a little notch right here in the center. And that's going to help me make my banner even. Then you stamp from the corner. Here, I'm going to angle this a little bit so I can see what I'm doing, and then I'll show you. Okay, so it's from the corner up to the top of that slit I just made. And then you do it here too, from the corner to that little slit. And that gives you a perfect little banner. Makes it nice and even. So you want to do that little slit in the center, because that helps you eyeball. If I try to do this without that little slit, each side is going to be lopsided. This kind of makes them a little more even when you do it this way. Okay, so that banner's ready to go. Get these off of here. And I'm going to put dimensionals on these, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the ones that came with the kit, which I covered up here. Hold on a minute. There we go. And I love that you get a full sheet of these. So you're going to have plenty left over. Okay, so I'm going to pop that up. I'm going to have this go across the center of my boots like this. Okay. And then, well, actually, I'm just going to use snail so I don't get glue on my fingers, since this isn't embossed at all. And this is just going to go in the center of my card base. So I'll bring this back in. And we've got a cute little card. There you go. Hope you like that one. So that's an alternative using one of the die cuts. So, and this is a full-size card. And like I said, I'm making sure I use the same colors that are in the kit. Okay, now I'm going to bring in some more. This is going to be a shaded spruce. I'm running out of room here. Shaded spruce card base. So I'm going to fold this in half. Okay. Now this one is going to be, like, this is called a portrait. A lot of you probably know that. This is going to be a landscape one, so it's going to have the fold on top. So we'll put that over to the side, bring this back in again. This is a piece of So Saffron. It is 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to bring this in, and there is this cute little flower stamp. Oops. I don't know if you can see that very well, but this one is in the No Matter the Weather, I do believe. So what I'm doing, I'm going to make a background to this. So I'm using So Saffron ink on the So Saffron cardstock. I'm just going to stamp these flowers instead of embossing all over it. And whenever you do this, you can see how I'm kind of making triangles. There's one, there's one, there's one. That makes you get that scattered look. So now I'm going to form a triangle there and put one there. So that makes it so it's not just straight lines. Makes it more random, but it also spaces them a little nicely. Okay, almost done. So I like being able to make my own background paper with stamps. There's so many neat things you can do with stamps. Okay, I think we need one more right there. So that we've got that ready to go. Ugh, there we go. Haven't used that one much. It's a little tight. Now I'm going to grab another piece of the Grapefruit Grove. And this one is 4 1/4 by 2. And you know what? I didn't do this on my original, but I really liked how this turned out with that splatter. So we're going to do that again. So I'm going to use the same color, the Grapefruit Grove. Yeah, I like the bricks with it too, Marlene. I just thought that just kind of reminded me, I don't know. I just thought it would go good with a rainy type card. And with that card with the boots, I was thinking that that could be like a brick wall that they're sitting on top of or something. So there, so I've got that. That's what I would have done if I hadn't forgotten the last time, but I really like that look. I think it makes the brick look better, with this color anyway. There's another card I'm doing, I think it looks better without the splatter. So that one is ready to go. And I'm going to put this on, use my glue again. Okay. So glad the phone's still working. Okay, I'm going to put this more to the right side, a little closer. This is just the look I'm going for. Okay, so that's on there. Now I'm going to take a piece of gray granite. This is another gray that's in the kit colors. And I'm going to use the Let Love Grow. This is the one from the free stamp set. So whenever I say free stamp set, that's the No Matter the Weather. Or I'm sorry, whenever I say the kit, I think I said the wrong thing. Whenever I say the kit stamp set, that is from the No Matter the Weather. That way I don't have to keep saying that because I keep forgetting all the words. So I've got the Let It Grow on there. I'm I'm going to put some snail on here, all the way across. Now I am going to line up the right edge with the right edge of that brick wall. There we go. So we've got that going across. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White. You can use a scrap, but this one is 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. And I'm going to stamp this really pretty flower stamp. This one, I'm going to do it with the basic gray. This one is from the free stamp set, the Spring Splash. So I'm going to stamp this over here to the right. The reason I'm going to the right is because I'm going to punch this out here in a minute. And I want to be able to have something to hold on to when I put it in the punch. So I don't need the gray right now, so I'll close that because I don't want to make a mess. Now, there is this neat stamp that makes it so you can color in all of those flowers. And it is so easy to line up. I was really surprised how easy it was to line up. So let me stand up, see if I can, helps me so I'm not angled quite as much. So I just hold it above the flowers for a little bit until it looks like they're all lined up, and then I stamp it. As long as you don't go fast. See, look how, that was so easy. So I love it when they stamp that easy. So those are all ready to go. Now there is not a stamp to do the leaves and the basket. So I decided to grab some Stampin' Blends. Now I'm not going to use 2 different shades since everything is so small. So I'm going to use my dark So Saffron for my basket. I could have used my regular Stampin' Right markers too. But now I'm going to do this here real quick. Okay, so now I've got my yellow basket. I'm going to get a little closer. Looks like I am really far away. That way you can see what I'm doing a little better. See if I can get this to, there, that's a little better. Okay, so that's colored in. Now I'm going to take my shaded spruce. This is a dark shaded spruce. Now I am using the brush tip. I know a lot of people use the blunt when it's this small, but if you use a really light touch, that little point is even thinner than the blunt point. So I'm just quickly coloring these in. If you don't get them colored in perfectly, that is okay. It's kind of neat to have a little bit of white showing too. And there are a lot of little leaves here. Some of them it's hard to tell if they're leaves or not, so if you don't like it being white, then just go ahead and color them in. I found that out when I did this yesterday. I think I'm just about done. Okay, there we go. So we've got that ready to go. It's still not real close to you, so I'll pop it up there. There, that looks better. Now you can see it. Now I'm going to use the Starburst punch. Oh my goodness. From the annual catalog, and just kind of center that and punch it out. So this fits perfectly in that Starburst. I don't know why I keep saying Starburst punch. Okay, now I'm going to pop this on with dimensionals. So I went flipping things around again. Where'd I put? Oh, there they are. And I think this only needs about 3. So I'm going to make like a little triangle with my dimensionals. Okay. Pop this right here. And then we're going to pop this on to the shaded spruce card base. I love how the free stamp set and the one that comes with the kit coordinate. So on this card, I use both stamp sets. So there we go. So I love how they've got those coordinated. Alrighty, now I've got one more card to share. Let me get some of these things out of the way. I need to clean this flower because I'm going to be using it on my second card. Now this one might be my favorite of the 3. I like to end with my favorite one. Okay, now we're going to take a piece of Petal Pink cardstock. This one, the colors in the group, and it is a 8.5 by 5.5 again. Now this one's going to be a portrait card. I always find it easier to fold it when the fold's closer to me, but this is the way we're going to do it. Now we're going to take a piece of Whisper White. This one is, where'd it go? 2 by 2 3/4. And I'm going to stamp these boots. This is from the free stamp set, the Spring Splash. Bring in my basic black again. And you're going to see once again another two-step stamp that's really easy to line up. So I'm going to stamp this near the top center, like so. And while I've got the basic gray out, I'm going to go ahead and do the I Believe in You. And this also comes from the free stamp set, the Spring Fling. There we go. A little cockeye, but that's all right. Not too bad. Now I'm going to bring in my Balmy Blue. And there's this really neat stamp in this with little flowered boots. I don't know if you can see that in the stamp, but you definitely will when I stamp it. Now the trick to lining this up, which is still really easy, you can see those little openings there, and you've got these little labels on the boots. You make sure that those labels are inside that, and that helps you line up, because down here is where the soles of the boots are. That does not get stamped. So as long as so you're not going to line up the bottom with the bottom of the boots. Just as long as you get those boxes lined up, the rest of it lines up with no problem. There we go. Aren't those cute? I love that. Very cute. I actually did a different color with my card last night. I can show it to you here in a minute. And I thought, oh, I should have done those in Balmy Blue. So we'll see which one we like better when I get done. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of Petal Pink again. This one is 2 1/4 by 3. Oops, I want to put it on the back of the white one. Almost did a boo-boo. You always want to do the smaller piece with the adhesive. If you put it on the big one, you could go past where this white one's going to go on, and you're going to have glue on the border here, and you don't want that. So there, we've got that ready to go. Now I'm going to do some punching with my Starburst again. Got some scraps. This is Pear Pizzazz. Punch that out. Now usually I stamp before I punch, but this time I'm going to be making little backgrounds on these, so it's a lot easier to do it once they're punched. So we've got a Petal Pink, a Balmy Blue, and a Pear Pizzazz. Aren't those colors pretty together? I like that. Okay, now there are little hearts on the stamp set that comes with the kit. I just got a bigger block, and I put all 3 of them on here going different directions. And then I'm going to take my Petal Pink. That's what I like about our cling and our photopolymer. You can put more than one stamp on your block, and it makes it so you don't have to stamp so much. So now I'm just going to keep stamping the Petal Pink on my Petal Pink circle till it's covered pretty well. That looks good. So we've got that one ready to go. Now I'm going to take my little flower, and I'm going to do the flower on the other 2. I thought the pink one definitely needed the hearts. Oops, got my Pear Pizzazz ink out. And now I'm going to just stamp that flower all over this one. I thought these circles, at first I wasn't going to stamp these circles, but they just didn't look right without something on them. So there's the green one. Let me hurry up and clean it, because I'm going to do the next one with the blue. Okay. Get this done lickety-split. And get my Balmy Blue back out. Now, stamp that in a few places. Okay, there we go. So now we've got all of those stamped. Put those over to the side. And then I've got a piece of gray granite, and I've already embossed it with a brick mortar wall. Like I said, I'm using the brick on all of these because I thought they looked really good with these stamp sets. So this is a 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to bring in my little circles here, and I originally kind of laid these down and kind of eyeballed before I started putting things down. Now I've got my little card here to cheat from, to look at, but this is how I figured it out, just trying to make it look the way I wanted it, like so. So now I'm going to lift this up. Actually, I think I like the pink underneath better. So I'm going to put some glue on here. So whenever you start laying things out, go ahead and put it down. Lay it down first before you attach it. Yeah, aren't these springy colors, Marlene? I really like them. Okay, so we've got the Petal Pink there. Slide this out. It's my Pear Pizzazz circle. Oops, I put those hearts on the little upside down. That's okay. They're kind of scattered every which way. So if you make this card on your own, you might not want your hearts to be upside down. That's okay. They just look like they're flying around. I'll put my blue up here. Okay. Oops. Kind of moved on me. There we go. Now, when you work with glue, if it moves on you, just put it back and then put some pressure on it, and then it's stuck there to stay. Now, this one I popped on with dimensionals. Okay. Get those paper backings off. I'm going to put this right about here. That looks good. Bring in my glue and we'll put this on the card base. So those of you that have this kit, you're more than welcome to copy or case, actually it's case, copy and share everything. You're more than welcome to copy any of these. I just want to give any of my customers that get the paper pumpkin and anybody out there ideas for what different things they can do with their paper pumpkin kit. So here are my 3 alternatives. Let me get this out of the way, be easier to see. So those are my full-size cards. Here, let me take this out a little bit again. There we go, so I can show you everything. So those are those 3 cards. And then I'll bring in the other cards here. The one on my left hand is the one that came with the kit, and the one on the right is the one I came up with. So I love how there are different ways you can make cards. You don't have to stick with the one that's in the kit. Then we've got these. And, oh, here are the other ones. And then I've got these. So I'm going to have to get a little bigger again. There we go. Get these all on the screen here. So I hope you enjoyed these cards. And if you want, don't subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. This will give you an idea how good these kits are. When they first came out with them, I'm going to have to admit, wasn't real crazy about them. But they have been so good the last few years. They're well worth the money. So they're the ones that I came up with, the actual card bases. And then here are my full-size cards. Now, if you want to subscribe to next month's, here it is. This one is My Wonderful Family. Like usual, we don't know exactly what it looks like, but all the colors are listed there in the picture. But you have to subscribe by April 10th, and I've got a link to that in my description, video description. So if you want to, and let's see, and these are full-size cards. I knew there was something else I wanted to tell you. So the ones that we made this time that came with the kit were a little smaller. They're note card size, but these are full-size. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you liked it. Sorry about the little technical glitches again. I can see what happens with my phone, so that quits happening. But I hope you have a great weekend. And if you get bored, I'm making videos to go on my YouTube channel. And those of you watching on Facebook, there's a link to it below. And you can go see the videos I've already made. And I've got some more I'm going to be putting up. And I'm starting something new. I do always post these cards from my lives on my Facebook page. I'm going to do them either this afternoon or tomorrow. Tomorrow at the very latest. I'm going to do that every week. So that way you've got the supply list handy and the dimensions all written down. So you don't have to write them down while you're doing the video. So check back by tomorrow morning. I should have it all up. And I'll put the links in the video description. That way you can go see them. So like I said, have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves, guys. See you next week.